The rise and fall of the Islamic empires, 600 CE to 1918. The fall of Rome created a power vacuum within the Middle East. Rome split into two halves after it fell. The eastern half of Rome was based at Constantinople and remained, but it would be at war with the new emerging Muslim powers in the region for centuries. The Persian Empire was weak. Soon it incorporated the Arab and Muslim empires. The Prophet Muhammad formed a new religion in the 1600s CE. It eventually unified the Arab tribes into one nation, first under the Umayyads and then the Abbasids. The Umayyad Empire ruled from 661 CE to 750 CE. The Abbasid Empire was from 750 CE to 1258. The Abbasid Empire is often considered the golden age of the Islamic empires. Wealth and trade spread across Asia. Baghdad became the new capital of the Islamic world. The House of Wisdom was located within Baghdad. The House of Wisdom housed intellectual Muslim scholars that made breakthroughs in medicine, science, philosophy, and mathematics. Many Islamic scientists gave birth to modern-day inventions because they discovered the basis for these inventions. One example of this is when one scientist studied the human eye and was able to produce one image onto a different surface, giving way to the technology that would lead to cameras. Many Islamic doctors were performing surgeries with surgical tools. Surgery was unheard of in Europe at this time. They were letting out your blood because they thought something was wrong with your blood. Also, Islamic doctors separated you from the healthy, the basis of hospitals. The word algebra is an Arabic word. Algebra was developed by Islamic mathematicians. They discovered the principles used in algebra that are taught in modern high schools and middle schools today. Al-Biruni was one of the Islamic mathematicians who discovered the principles of algebra. But he wasn't alone. Many Muslim scholars discovered or improved upon things in the field of mathematics or astronomy. Muslim Spain was a conduit for ideas, technologies, and thoughts. Math in the Hebrew language was rediscovered by the Jews. Christian and Muslim scholars flocked to go to Cordoba as the center of knowledge. Greek philosophy was translated into Arabic and was preserved. The libraries of Cordoba, Spain were some of the most advanced and some of the most expansive libraries in the world because the Arabs wanted a copy of all the texts around the world in their libraries. There was an Islamic musician named Zurab, also known as Blackbird. He was from Baghdad and relocated to Spain. He opened up the first music school in Europe, in Cordoba in the 800s. He was the founder of Andalusian music. His music was atonal and modal. This means that it was easy to improvise and add on to what someone else was doing. This atonal and modal system of music can be found in Spanish flamenco and fado music. The fall of Baghdad by the Mongols. We will look at the rise and fall of the Mongols next. The Mongols burned Baghdad to the ground and conquered much of the Middle East during the 1200s. The ideas and achievements of the Abbasid Empire still lived on, though, but Islamic power declined. The Mongols, even though they destroyed Baghdad, were very important in Islam because they united all of the little territories that were not part of Islam and spread the Islamic ideas and technology that were developed. Islam became fractured between the Sunnis and the Shiites. This split is an ongoing internal religious divide. The Abbasid Empire fell in the 1200s. The remaining power was divided against the Ottomans, the Safavid, and the Mughal empires. The Safavid Empire was the first to recognize Shiite Islam as an official Islamic religion. The Ottomans were vulnerable to Europeans. The Ottomans were referred to as the sick man of Europe. British controlled the Ottomans through funding and diplomacy. The Ottomans allied with Germany during World War I because the Allies promised Arab independence. Instead, they take over, which sets in motion many of the problems that have plagued the Middle East ever since. The achievements of the Abbasid. Why do we know so little about this aspect of Islam? Obscured by the legacy of European imperialism? The idea of Orientalism? Well, this is what Edward Said tries to argue in his book and movie Orientalism.